Hey there! I just want to acknowledge and celebrate you for seeking out high quality healthcare information. Are you thinking about taking Ozempic or Wegovy for weight loss or even to manage your type 2 diabetes? If so, pay close attention. I'm going to do what most doctors won't. I'm going to explain not just the benefits, but the risks, potential side effects, and unintended consequences of these medications. Many doctors are way too busy and don't have the time to dive deep into the details. So I'm here to fill in that gap. I'm Dr. Robert Floyd, a board-certified functional medicine physician, and this video is crucial if you are considering taking Ozempic for the long haul. Now, Ozempic is a GLP-1 agonist, a class of drugs with several members, and it acts by decreasing your appetite by fooling your body into thinking that it's not hungry anymore, just like after you've eaten a giant meal. In fact, it acts so well that many patients taking the drug often get nausea just from seeing food, thinking about food, or even just smelling food. It works that well. These drugs were originally approved in much lower doses than what we're seeing today. The first GLP-1 agonist got FDA approval in 2005, but it was administered daily in microgram doses, not the milligram doses given weekly today. This higher dosage can be a major concern. Here's the problem with Ozempic and other drugs in this class. They operate under the assumption that you're just a gluttonous overeater who can't change their ways. This paints your hunger as the enemy, but hunger is an evolutionarily conserved mechanism. It is not a bad thing. In fact, it's a vital signal your body uses to maintain balance. I tell many of my clients and patients that being hungry isn't a bad thing. It actually lets you know that your hunger and satiety hormones are working as they should. Moreover, the narrative often suggests that obesity is purely genetic and has nothing to do with food choices. This leads many to believe that they can continue eating the exact same unhealthy, disease-causing, mood-altering, addictive foods while on Ozempic, thinking that weight loss means that they're getting healthier. However, that is a dangerous misconception. To maintain the benefits of weight loss and improved hemoglobin A1C, you must inject Ozempic for the rest of your life. But what happens if something bad happens financially and you can't afford it anymore? You're likely gonna gain all the weight back, actually, and then some. Why? Because early research studying GLP-1 agonists show that these medications, although they make your fat cells shrink, they also probably increase the absolute number of fat cells in your body. So you're winding up with smaller fat cells, but a whole lot more fat cells. And so when you do hit a financial speed bump and you're unable to afford Ozempic every week, which actually currently is averaging around $1,500 a month, you've now got maybe twice as many fat cells just waiting to get plumped up. And that's why I think we're seeing that when people stop Ozempic, in many cases, they gain back all the weight plus plenty more. They don't just gain back a few pounds like someone who's lost 100 pounds from, say, diet and lifestyle modifications, but fell off the diet and then gained back maybe 20 pounds or so. No, that is not going to happen. When you stop taking Ozempic, you are going to gain it all back plus 10, 20, or maybe even 30 pounds more. Another significant issue is muscle and connective tissue loss. People taking Ozempic often continue eating a nutrient-poor standard American diet, devoid of enough proteins, healthy fatty acids, and vitamins and minerals. Now, this can lead to a loss of muscle and connective tissue. Dr. Peter Attia saw that up to 50% of the weight lost in his patients was from muscle loss. This is terrible. As I've said many times before, muscle is one of the main organs of longevity. When you lose muscle, it is called sarcopenia, and increased sarcopenia is directly related to increased morbidity and mortality as we age. Other studies have shown that up to 30% of the weight loss is from muscle and connective tissues as well. Yes, there is fat loss, but you do not want to be losing inordinate amounts of muscle and connective tissue, again, because this leads to increased morbidity and mortality. One thing that some doctors are seeing is actually called Ozempic face. This phenomenon is due to the loss of the connective tissues supporting your facial structures, leaving you looking markedly aged. This is such a well-known problem that the food giant Nestle Foods is now marketing and selling skin-boosting collagen to combat Ozempic face. And plastic surgeons are even marketing directly to sufferers of Ozempic face today. This is not just about aesthetics, it's about your overall health and vitality. One more thing that you must understand, and this is a big one, is that there is no long-term safety data on these higher dosages. The drug companies have no proof that long-term use of Ozempic is safe in humans. In fact, if you start taking Ozempic, since it was just FDA approved at this new higher dose in 2022, you are the experiment. You're essentially participating in a grand experiment without your informed consent. This is called post-market data. So you see, they got approval to put it on the market without any long-term results. And when people start using it, the healthcare providers are supposed to be looking for negative side effects, negative outcomes, and other unwanted problems. And these healthcare providers are supposed to report these issues to databases, which often doesn't happen because, again, like I said, doctors are way too busy. GLP-1 receptor agonists are found not only in your brain and your pancreas, but throughout the body, including the GI tract, the heart, the kidneys, the lungs, and even the immune system. The long-term effects of activating these receptors with a mega dose of medication are unknown. What could happen to lung function or kidney function with long-term use? The scary truth is, no one on earth knows. I know a brilliant GI doctor, and he once told me that we don't want to be fooling around with the gut. It is so interconnected that when you mess with one thing, dozens of other unexpected and unexplainable issues might pop up. For crying out loud, Hippocrates said, after all disease starts in the gut. And another wise doctor once told me, never be the first or the last to prescribe a new medication. Let others be the guinea pigs. Watch and see how they fare over the next couple years, and then decide if it's worth the risk. And this is the realm I currently find myself in. And two last things I think you should be aware of if you are considering taking Ozempic and Wegovy. Besides the side effects I've mentioned already, there are two more that can be life-altering: small bowel obstruction and permanent gastroparesis. As a doctor who is still seeing patients in the ERs and in the hospitals, I have seen both of these problems firsthand, and these issues are not issues that you want. Permanent gastroparesis means that your stomach is basically paralyzed and no longer rhythmically contracts to get food out of your stomach into your small bowel. This would be a miserable way to live. And small bowel obstruction? Heck, this is a potentially fatal surgical emergency. I've seen many patients rush back to the OR for emergent surgery to intervene with a small bowel obstruction, because if it persists and doesn't resolve on its own, you will die. Oh yeah, wait, I almost forgot. Like I said, when you mess with the gut, unexpected consequences can pop up. And another issue that I haven't even mentioned is the mood alterations with increased anxiety and depression. Many patients are reporting these two things. Between January 21 and 23, a European drug database recorded 481 psychiatric events associated with 3 GLP-1 drugs: semaglutide, liraglutide, and tirzepatide. About half of these events were reported as depression, followed by anxiety. Roughly 20% were related to suicidal ideation. The author of a study analyzing that data wrote, quote, "Although adverse psychiatric events account for only 1.2% of the total reports associated with GLP-1 agonists, 20 patients had a fatal or life-threatening outcome in this study." I guess this brings a whole new meaning to the term hangry, right? Now, As a practicing physician, I try not to tell people what to do in every circumstance. I try to educate them and help them make informed decisions. If a patient comes to me insisting on taking Ozempic, I would first advise them to follow a proper healthy diet, cutting down on carbs and ultra-processed foods, and consider Ozempic only as a short-term boost, not even a long-term solution ever. Remember, many FDA-approved drugs have later been found harmful, resulting in massive lawsuits and recalls. In fact, in Q2 of 2019, almost 20% of FDA-approved drugs were recalled, of course for various reasons. But does anyone remember Vioxx, which killed an estimated 60,000 people? So, I urge you to read the package insert, do your own research, and consider the long-term implications. Adopting a proper healthy human diet now will improve your health and potentially reduce the need for medications like Ozempic in the future. Whatever you do, avoid the standard American diet like the plague. The standard American diet should not be standard for anyone. Stay informed, stay curious, and take control of your health journey. For more health tips, check out EmpowermentMD. All right, we'll see you in the next video.